Hey, what's going on? It's AJ. I am just so emotionally fired up from this documentary I saw called Sugarman. It's an inspiring story about this man named Sixto Rodriguez. And in the 70s, he's a very talented musician. He put out this album which was like brilliant. You know, his music was incredible. He had a hit song called Sugarman. You might have heard it before. But anyways, he created this album and he put it out into the world, but it tanked. I mean, commercially, it was not a success. So he got really upset. He got really down on himself and just quit music completely. The world was like, why would this guy quit? He was so talented. And then on top of that, he faked his death. So he just disappeared off the face of the earth and just didn't want to be seen. For reasons we don't know. But anyways, he did not realize this, but there was a huge following in South Africa and Australia. I mean, like, people looked up to the guy like it was Michael Jackson. They would play his music over and over in the clubs, and they would buy his records. They would be playing 24/7 on the radio. And he had this tremendous following for decades and decades and decades. And actually, it was so big that a crew from South Africa came to his hometown to do a story about him. And they wanted to be like, well, this man is a legend, a musical genius, and we want the world to know about him. And while they were doing research, they found that he was alive and that he faked his death. And he was actually a janitor. He took like odd jobs like, painting houses and fixing toilets. And they interviewed him, and it was just like so fascinating. But like, what does this story have to do with you? And why am I telling you this? Well, most importantly, it's to understand that you never know who you touch. Okay, so you're in a place where you're passionate about certain things. I mean, you have an art of creating music, of writing, of speaking, of sharing your passion. And of course, when we're a creative, we put our work out into the world, and many times it is not met with the love and reverence that we expect. And what happens? We get upset, we get down, but we don't realize that many people are touched by it or moved by it. A lot of people perhaps don't express to us how much we mean to them. So let's say this video right here, okay? So I'm putting this video out to you, and of course, my goal is to inspire you and to make you look at life a bit differently, or to be in a place where you realize you have gifts and passions and superpowers and you want to let those out into the world. But perhaps a lot of people don't see my video, they don't like or comment. Well, I don't really care, because I'm sharing from my heart. And if one person, you, watches this video and gets inspired from it, gets moved by it, and says, you know what AJ said, that really makes me want to share my passion, share my superpower, then I've won. That is all that matters. Only care about you, not everyone. There's 7 billion people in the world. I am totally cool if I don't get everyone's attention. I just want to get your attention. So my lesson is to share from the heart, to create, to inspire, do what you're passionate about, and create art from your soul. Because at the end of the day, it's not about getting likes or comments or getting everyone in the world to love you and worship you, but it's about you changing one life, you inspiring one person to action. If someone listens to your music, to your voice, looks at your art, reads something you create, and you've transformed them, then that's all that matters. So just keep in mind, you may not get the popularity, the props, the compliments that you feel you deserve, but it's not about having an expectation. It's about just putting out your best work into the world and just constantly creating, just constantly sharing what moves your soul.